Alright. A lot of different feels in my field. Like, I was very meditative yesterday. I decided to take the day off. I didn't go to the farmer's market. Wow. And work on some apothecary, which was so much fun. But anyway, it gave me a chance. I made this like medicinal oil, and it really put me into a trance. I'm not gonna lie, I was really tranced out all day. What I mean by that is, that kind of came through right now. Is like, maybe being honest with yourself. Like, we don't intentionally mean to lie. Sometimes some of us say that we're good beings. But truthfully, are you being honest with yourself? And I had some pretty hard hits. If I could, not hard hits, like nothing on the outside was really going on, and I love this phase, and you'll find this if you get to a place where you stop blaming other people and you start looking at, like, what is it inside of you that's attracting whatever is outside of you, or what is allowing stuff that doesn't resonate with you to come in, right? So it kind of felt like I was being, I'd say I spent like the whole day in another dimension, but it felt like I was being gutted out of, I kept saying what was isn't anymore. And what was isn't what I thought it was anyway. And I really don't understand this. But I know it's not for me. So I just kept saying to Spirit, what is not for me, take it. What is for me, bring to me. And so I was like getting gutted out. And I've been doing this practice for like over a month now. So I really suggest that if you're ready for deep work to clear out your shadow. But if you're not really ready for the truth, it's really not going to be good for you. But if you're a truth seeker, it's truthfully can be gut-wrenching, but fantastic in the purification. All right, so starting with that, growth is our stone message here. And I love this girl. She looks like a elf fairy butterfly. She's cool. And she looks like she's holding some sort of egg. I actually had this vision a few days ago of dinosaur egg hatching, and the dinosaur came out of the egg, and I've been sitting like, what does that mean? So for me, what I got was ancient wisdom that has been in my DNA is coming to life, and it's coming out of its shell. You know what I mean? It's cracking out, but ancient, because dinosaurs are from previous times. So I was like, why a dinosaur? And then I was like, ancient wisdom. That makes sense. So, just trying to stomach the messages right now. I'm just like, my stomach was turned inside out in so many ways. But releasing what wasn't, because it was really blocking the new growth. So maybe there are things in your life, if you be honest with yourself, is what I'm getting to, that honestly need to be purged out. They are codependencies. They are comfort zones. They are things that are not your highest and best. You're like, oh, settling for something less than you deserve. Stuff like that. So I've come to some like real realizations. I also learned how to say no. A lot of people are asking me, like, people are getting out of relationships, are asking if they can come to my house. I barely know them. You know what I mean? And it's like, no. I've been needing my time with spirit. So saying no, this was growth for me. So whatever it is that like you need to be honest with yourself about to grow. Saying no is just as cool as saying yes. It's so hot in here. So I learned how to say no because I like used to be driven or easily manipulated because I would be unconsciously guilted into stuff like, well, you need to do this. You're the one who needs to do this. Why am I always the one who needs to do this? Or whatever it is that we need to do. So I was like, all this stuff was coming up, and so I was talking to Jesus, and Jesus was like, soothe your irritation with gentleness. So making like remedies and salves is like, it's like the Holy Spirit's salve just pouring into my irritation. So yeah, I've had some things in my past that just really make no sense. So I got to this place where I was like, nothing makes sense. Like, why did I say yes? For example, you might reflect like on past lovers, like why did you let these people in your space? If you just end up getting rejected, they don't really meet you at the place that, you know, or if you didn't get rejected, it was like, okay, for me, I attracted emotionally unavailable people. But I'm a sensitive, like rainbow color of emotion, of amazingness, of amazing talents, of feeling. I can feel for people's feelings. I like can figure out what they don't even know they need to say. Like I'm just so good at feelings. So why in the world that? Because I was criticized for the gifts that I have. I was criticized a lot because it probably triggered truth out of people. So you got to look at those things. What are those things inside of you that you denied of yourself that has attracted things that don't reflect your highest and best? And I'm just growing myself right out of there. And then the other card we have is talents, while activating my talents and accepting who I am. There's a liberation in that, you know. So I'm using my example, which is I do because I'm going inward to do messages outward. So that's the best I got. But you know, related to where do you need to grow? I mean, out of comfort zones, out of codependencies, out of relationships that are not serving your highest and best. Because I realized, like, also the spiritual journey of this message of going deeper came in for me. Like, I'm going deeper. I'm going deeper into truth. I'm going deeper into love. I'm just going deeper into my growth. I'm going deeper into talents. Let's go deeper. Because the surface isn't, you know, there was like an irritability, but it's just that I'm touching the surface in relationships, and I meant to emotionally go so deep. And it's no one's fault, but I just listened to the conditioning, like, oh, you're too emotional, you're this, you're that. And really, I'm freaking lit. So maybe like the growth is accepting your own talents. It is for me. Like people, I can like feel things. You know what I'm saying? Not in, you're so sensitive. That's got to be hard. You know what's hard is not to feel, but that's on you. You know, to discover. And I've discovered through my talents that feeling is a gift. Like as long as I don't allow it to go to irritability. Yeah, some people I feel are aloof and emotionally detached and numb and paralyzed because I went through frozen trauma. I totally get it. It annoys me now because the growth is like, we don't need to do this to ourselves. Why do we do this to ourselves? So you gotta ask yourself the true questions like, what do you need to outgrow? I need to outgrow things that we're not. I mean, and I say this with all confidence. I have come to see my talents, and I'm like, my God, growing into a new perspective of myself and with all unconditional love. Like, treat myself like I treat others. I'm like, make amazing medicinal medicine. My God, I was tranced out. Like, I was literally tranced out. I talked to a friend in Colorado, and he's like, you sound high vibe. I'm like, yeah, man. Like, this remedy has taken me to another dimension. Like honestly, the oil I made was like transcending to another dimension. I mean, it was fantastic, and I just realized, wow, these talents. And you know, all these thoughts that people say, oh, it's like this and it's like that. It's like, you know what? It's not. I didn't attract the people that were right for me in the past because I was like convinced that like I don't know, I won't ever get hurt if I'm with emotionally unavailable people, right? Because I'm so sensitive. So I outgrew that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm ready to attract the people that are right for me. And as the angels are giving our message, so maybe you too are attracting like what is right for you? What is the right growth opportunities? What is your talents? What are the right people for you? Like it's time to get aligned, you know what I'm saying? And so the angels are saying all is well, which I literally wrote that in my affirmations this morning. I don't know. I just was like, all is well, all is blessed. Yeah, whatever. Put some salve on this irritant. It's just coming to like truth. Like I've come to realize that yeah, things may not be always like to my liking, but I respect truth. So the truth is I'm talented and I'm outgrowing what isn't for me. You know, all these thoughts, I used to think there was something mentally wrong with me because I'm sensitive, you know? No, what's mentally wrong is when people who are emotionally frozen, unavailable, and not considerate of, like, empathically considering anyone else's feelings, say a bunch of mouth-vomiting things because they want to avoid themselves. Now, I'm not falling into this anymore. If you hear what I'm saying, light workers, healers, empaths, truth seekers, I'm not falling for this trap anymore. Like, I'm going for what I deserve. I'm outgrowing this craziness. I'm going for the talents. And the angels are saying all is well, man. I'm gonna soar. I'm doing it. So I suggest y'all do it too. Yay! Run your true authentic flag and just like, this is me. If you don't like it, that's your problem. Okay. Now that I got my fire off my chest, that's how I transmute my irritation. It's like, yeah, if someone doesn't like you and you haven't done anything like harmful to them, that's their problem. Anyway. So, moving on from that, I was like deeply, deeply working on, why I, can be so like, I was inspired by this guru who's like, spend time with yourself and whatever kind of company you are, that's what the kind of company you are for others. I'm freaking awesome company. I'm sensual, I'm funny, I can make like salve that makes you trance out. Like, I like me. So, therefore, I'm open for others to like me too. I'm going to attract that in. And so I suggest you do the same. When you're being your true self, you can like feel right with who you are as yourself. And you don't feel this like obligation to try to please somebody else. Instead, I'm like, if I'm pleasing anyone, it's God. And that's because that's the one of creation that knows everything. Because another realization I came to is my mind is limited by human perspective and I can't understand everything. An irritant I had to work with is being wrong. I also thought that there was this person who was my soul partner back in the past, and like, well, first I rejected them, and then like later I thought I was getting all these messages that it was them, but I like misinterpreted the whole entire thing, and I was just wrong. And so I came to this place inside where I was like, was I really upset that it wasn't that person? Not necessarily. I was like embarrassed that I didn't intuitively get that to correct. So I had an unconscious guilt. So if you ever like get something wrong, the perfectionism trigger, it can really like cause you to kind of freeze up. So I'm just like, oh, I don't know. Do I even want to try again? Because I don't want to like get things wrong. And then I end up in weird situations, heartache. But the thing is, I'm so grateful I got it wrong. Because for a while there, I was like, oh my God, and then it's just humbling. It's like, okay, so I'm a human. Yes, I'm a high vibrational channeler. And sometimes I get things wrong. Woo! That felt good to say out loud. So the truth is, it doesn't appear, and maybe I'll get it wrong again, I don't know, but it doesn't appear that I channeled that correctly, and that person is more like a friend, I think, that I talk to sometimes. It's just like, come on, where is my head at? So obviously there's like things that I don't understand. You may be there. Maybe you're thinking someone's something special or they rejected and you're like hanging on to it. Like, they're not for you. That's why they're gone. You know what I'm saying? If they were, they'd be there. And so I want to be there for someone, and I want someone to be there for me or whatever, and beingness by being ourselves and enjoying the beingness together. And so that's the growth I've come to realize, and the talents I've learned to accept, and the all is well, and it's beyond my mind's understanding, is I don't need to hold on to what isn't anymore. Obviously, it wasn't for me. So my new affirmation is just, God, what is not for me, take away, or purge out of me, which, I got a deep clearing. And God, what is for me, please bring it in, and joyfully and thankfully. Like, thank you for bringing what's for me. And so I'm just like learning to not just accept anything. And then there's this feeling you get, like it gets a little tricky with discerning, and that's why it's good to give yourself compassion if you get it wrong. But there's some feelings that I get where like, no, I should say no, even though it's coming in, it's kind of a temptation. So there's another avenue of that where, it could be coming in, making you think it's for you, but it's not. And one of the things that triggered me about this last situation is just because I'm a nice person, or because I'm like so loving and sweet. It's like, oh, because the world isn't. It's people come to me because they're like, people aren't like this. Well, like, come on, people, let's get more empathic. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I'm not trying to, like, the small amount of people that are willing to be the change, like, why do they have to carry all the weight? Like, come on, y'all, let's let's work as a team here. And that's me just outgrowing my circle. It's all okay. It's not okay if it's not okay. And it's not okay when people put too much weight on you. And it's not okay when you're doing too much of the work and you're not having fun and it's becoming an obligation to hold caring compassion for people because the world is harsh. Now, come on, world, let's get unharsh. You know what I'm saying? So my talent is to just speak truth. And truthfully, it's beyond our mind's understanding, but at the heart of it, I feel like we could be doing better sometimes than just sitting on the back burner. So, like sometimes others need to sit back while others need to lean for, move forward or whatever. And I just kind of felt like this, like I've been giving, and I'm empty. When I empty everything, there's nothing. I feel nothingness. So I need more, more substance within my connection, because I was allowing other people to be like, oh, well, when I'm sad, I come to you, or when I need something, or when I'm rejected, or I need attention, or I need this, or I need to feel inspired, or whatever. But there's no like, how's Victoria? So that's what like the realization to me was, I need to attract in my growth more alignment with my talents, because then as I'm activating my talents and growing into my true self, I'm experiencing higher vibe relationships, right? So that's what I'm saying to you. If you're being honest with yourself, it may honestly, like for me, be a gutting out experience, or it may not. But for me, it was like really gutting out, because depending on how long you've been doing things that aren't your true self, or accepting things that aren't your highest and best, to how much time will that be purged? I don't know. It's beyond the mind's understanding. You could purge something in 5 minutes, or you could take 5 years. So I think it's just being honest with lowering expectations and raising up value. And that's kind of like the key I'm feeling here, is to go deeper, is to really know your own worth and value. And, it's okay. It's okay. Like, I'm working on my irritation being gentle, but, being more gentle with the irritation. However, I understand that there's growth in this process. And so in compassion, we don't always know, which is a little triggering for me and uncomfortable, because having the gift of sense of knowing is wonderful, but sometimes you get it wrong and you don't know, which is humbling. And I like it. Praise the Lord. So maybe in some cases you are really talented, but you need to humble, because like we're not all perfect, and there's a liberation in accepting that. Anyway, so we got the solar plexus, which I definitely feel is like, activated talents. I actually had like heat in my solar plexus a few days ago. So yeah, definitely that solar power, free will choice. You can decide to choose your true self. You can decide to grow into your highest potential and activate your talents and accept that all is well. Oh yeah, this says everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to, and with hidden blessings you will soon understand. So I didn't really understand the gutting out experience I had, but I just kept trusting that there's a greater, and I mean, honestly, to take away what isn't is fantastic, and to identify unconscious guilt I didn't know I had, because just this obligation where people are like, oh, you're the nice one. I'm like, sometimes I'm just fire. So, it's like, am I? And sometimes I just want to express myself and have fun. I don't always want to hold everyone's hand. I'm just being honest. Like, I like being a compassionate, loving empath, but I'm also a person having a life experience here that wants to enjoy it as well. So, I kind of feel like in my solar plexus is like reminding people that we're all kind of responsible for ourselves, and for, if you take some accountability, you know what I'm saying? It's liberating to have accountability. All right. So anyway, back to the solar plexus. We got conscious breathing can translate one's understanding of an experience into greater understanding with the intent to go deeper. Definitely. I'm going deeper than I have. Like, I've talked surface level, even though it seems like I talk deep. I've really just been going surface level. And the deeper I go, the more I realize that, like, there's so much to discover. Which is fun, and sometimes it's gotta be soothed, because it's not always fun. But anyway, breathing out, we hear the words, now. Breathing out, I know. Yeah, Now I know. Yeah, I was like really sitting in silence yesterday, so I'm very talkative. This video is a little bit longer and I'm expressing a lot, and also the pressure of like I've got a lot of things to do. It's been raining for like 2 weeks and it's time for me to go outdoors and garden. So remember to like, be accountable, take responsibility, but all is well. So if like something like is passing, thank God it's passing. That helps my irritation. It's like, thank God this purging is passing soon. The gutting out is soon to be over so that I can be filled with the awesomeness. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever your situation may be. Thank God this job is over so that the next job I have, honors my value. Thank God this relationship ended in the past because it wasn't for me anyway. Because if it was, it'd still be there. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like, maybe we were attached to somebody because of trauma, wanting something that's unavailable, feeling not worthy, instead when something beautiful that is available, that is attracted to you, wants you, but you're just like blinded to see it because you're like stuck on something that doesn't even exist really. I mean, it does, but it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Because it's based off of you not even knowing your own worth. Things like that. Like, be careful, be honest with yourself. Like, in what ways of your life are you, settling for less than you deserve? You can tell, y'all. I've been going deep as to why did I have all this stress on my face. Because I let, people take advantage of me. But anyway, that's my story. I'm letting go of a lot, obviously. Whatever it is for you that you didn't understand, go deeper into your breath. Go deeper into your growth. Go deeper into your truth and your talents. And, all is well. Like, you are where you need to be. Everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to with hidden blessings. You will hidden blessings that you will soon understand. Awesome. I was like, I'm really chatty, which brings me to the last chakra, which is throat chakra. I'm also about keeping it real, y'all. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to be perfect. I'm not here to have a perfect camera angle. I'm not here to, look at me under YouTube perfectly. It's more of like, I just feel called to speak truth. I don't know. Truth to whatever I need to speak it, and half the time I don't even know what I say, and then I'm done and I'm over with it. So, take it or leave it. If it's for you, great. If not, namaste. God bless. There's no need to be here unless you got something that you feel called to. All right, and if you are here, I'm grateful. Thank you for authentically being here from the truth. All right, so like a lover, our life force always meets us at the center of where we are, and it brings with us a pearl of great prize from our deeper being. Y'all go deeper. Deepening the deeper is coming up. I literally was called to a song called Let's Go Deeper today. Or Going Deeper. Anyway, I was dancing to it. It was pretty fun. All right, so breathing out, we hear the words, I see out you. I see you, I feel you, I hear you, I know you, I love you. And if I don't know you, that's okay. Sometimes I don't know things. But what I do know is if you have been on this video and you have gone through this deeper, expression with me, thank you so much. I really appreciate your authenticness to be here, and I appreciate you being authentic. And for those who, feel called, like, go deeper this week, y'all. Go deeper. Activate your truth. Get into your growth. All is well. Activate your talents. You may not understand, but keep breathing in consciousness and, go deep, you get intimate with a deep lover. Go deep in within yourself and within God and with everything, and, be seen and heard. It's fantastic and all is well. So thank you so much for visiting here today on the MystiCOOLS weekly empath read. We're so grateful. And remember, salve to your irritation, gentleness to the irritation, gentleness to anger, gentleness, compassion to unconscious guilt, accepting yourself and your imperfections, really be growing into your true authenticness, whether it feels good or not, just accepting that it is what it's meant to be. You're going deeper into it. You're going to learn to love it, which was inspired from a friend of mine. I'm always like, trust the process. And they're like, also learn to love the process. Freaking awesome. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us here today. And if you like our channel, you go ahead and subscribe. And, if you would like to leave a comment or, hit like or whatever, that is greatly appreciated. And if you don't, I'm not offended. I'm okay with it. It's totally cool either way. Thank you so much for being here, and many, many blessings. Namaste.